Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. It's day 5 of COVID for me, and I'm learning something. See, this is my week of reflection, getting ready for the next year and ending out this year. And what I've been looking at is Galatians 5:22, and asking myself, how are you growing? How's it going? So Galatians 5:22 is where Paul talks about the fruit of the Spirit, and it's an important part of growth. And the fruit of the Spirit he describes as love and joy, and then peace. And I'm not going to talk about peace today because I've done a lot of video thoughts of the day on peace. It's irene in the Greek, shalom in the Hebrew. You can find those. But I want to go to the next word in his list. It's love, joy, peace, patience. Macrothumia, it's thumia, macrothumia in the Greek. It's a marvelous idea of a contentment or tranquility in spite of what's going on. Now, I've got to tell you, there are a lot of things that can keep us from being patient. And yet, that's a fruit of the Spirit. And I want to talk about this in a little bit different angle for you. Because it's one thing to say be patient, or even yet, hurry up and be patient. It's another thing altogether to be that way. And some of that is a rewiring of our minds, because I think sometimes our minds dictate our level of patience. If we're well rested, we're more patient than we are if we're not. If, at least me, I'm well fed, at least when those carbs come in, I'm doing a little bit better in patience than if I'm hungry or hangry, as some people might say. But even beyond the reshaping of the mind, there is a real benefit in life to learning these fruit of the Spirit and letting them grow in us. God's not telling us to let these grow simply because he wants a bunch of fruit to rot on a tree. God's telling us because these fruit change our lives. They make our lives more enjoyable. They make the lives of those we're around more enjoyable. They make us more effective in what we do. So look at macrothumia, patience in the Greek, but look at it in light of the way it's used to translate passages in the Old Testament. There's a proverb in the Old Testament, Proverb 25:15. And that proverb says that through patience, a ruler can be persuaded, and a gentle tongue can break a bone. Now think about that for a moment. Through patience, a ruler can be persuaded. That's an amazing thing. Usually we try to persuade people through impatience. I was talking to one of my daughters who will remain nameless in this video, and she was being a little bit short, and I said, honey, please just be patient. And her response was, Dad, right now it's kind of hard to be patient because, and fill in the blank. And she was right. Lots of reasons not to be patient. But those are the very times where we need to be patient, where it's good for us to be patient. So the Hebrew word for patience is a great expression. It's a collection of 2 Hebrew words. It's the word orech, which means long, and it's orech off, nose. Long-nosed. To be long-nosed instead of short-tempered, I guess. And by the way, that means it's a compliment if someone says you have a long nose. You say, well, God's been growing patience in my life. And as long as they don't understand Hebrew, they won't get it. But if they do, they'll get that. But this idea of being long-nosed, of not quickly sniffing off into anger, is one that can persuade a ruler, like that gentle tongue that can break a bone. Now, sometimes I have bones that need to be broken. Sometimes I have rulers that need to be persuaded. There are things I need to accomplish. And the remarkable thing is, God turns this world system upside down and says, you want to change people. You want to persuade rulers. You want to break bones. Don't do it by flying off the handle. Don't do it with a sharp, acidic tongue. Do it through patience. Do it through a gentle tongue. Now that's something that doesn't happen overnight. Paul says it's a fruit of the Spirit. It'll come from God and it'll grow in us. but we need to seek it out. We need to fertilize that plant. We need that fruit to be nurtured. We need to pull out the weeds that would choke it out. We want that fruit because it will transform not just our world, but our lives. It's your video thought for the day. We got one more of these year in review coming tomorrow. I'll see you then.